Hello students, welcome to this video. I hope everyone is fine. Students, in this video I'll be talking about tense and the uses of various tense forms. Students, I've already uploaded some videos wherein I discussed about the structure of the tense, structure of different tense forms. I discussed about the structures along with examples. So if you know the structure of a tense form, it will help you to identify the particular tense form. Students, today I'm going to discuss about the uses of various tense forms. In which situations can you make use of the proper tense form? That also you need to know. So I decided to make a separate video on the uses of various tense forms. Students, in this video I'll discuss about some tense forms and I'll make another video for the rest of the tense forms. So students, will begin with the present tense, the different forms of present tense. Let us try to know about the uses of the different forms of present tense. As you know, the present tense has four different forms: present indefinite or simple present, present continuous, present perfect and present perfect continuous. So we'll begin with the first form of present tense, that is the present indefinite tense. It is also known as simple present tense. You already know the structure, still I'll repeat the structure for your benefit. That is subject plus first form of the verb, or sometimes s or es is added to the first form of the verb plus object. Now let us talk about the conditions where we can use the present indefinite tense. Students, before I proceed to the explanation, let me give you a very important advice. That is, I want you to watch the complete video so that you get the proper benefit of the explanation. So kindly do that, because I don't want you to miss any points of the explanation. So students, present indefinite tense or simple present tense, what are the conditions where we can use the present indefinite tense in a sentence? First condition is when you want to express a habitual action. What is habitual action? Which is a regular habit of someone. Suppose you want to express your regular habits, you want to talk about your regular habits. Suppose you wake up at a particular time, you're talking about that. You talk about your hobby, you talk about what you do usually. No? So in these situations, what happens? You need to use the present indefinite tense. Okay? Suppose if someone asks you, tell me, how do you pass your day usually? Okay? So whenever you speak, you have to speak in the present indefinite tense. So to express a habitual action such as I wake up at 6 o'clock every day, you can't use any other tense form here. Or it can be a negative sentence also, he doesn't sleep so early. It can be interrogative sentence as well. Where do they live? Who does he call for help? So I have given examples of all sorts of sentences where you can use present indefinite tense when you talk about habitual actions. Now let us move to the second condition. The second condition is when you express general truths which cannot be changed, or universal truth, you have to use the present indefinite or the simple present tense. For example, the moon revolves around the earth. Like poles do not attract. These are general truth. It cannot be changed. It is proved. So whenever water boils at 100 degrees Celsius, whenever you are expressing such general truths, you will use the present indefinite tense. In case of something like earth moves around the sun rises in the east, God is everywhere. You will get many more examples here. Another condition, in exclamatory sentences beginning with here and there, to express an element of surprise. In exclamatory sentences, I hope you know what are exclamatory sentences, which has got exclamatory words. Hey, how are you? It is exclamatory sentence, where sudden expressions of the mind is revealed. Happiness, sadness, alas, hooray, no? Bravo, all these are exclamatory words. So when that exclamatory sentence begins with here or there, then, and if that sentence talks about some sort of surprise, then you can use the present indefinite tense. For example, here comes the bus. It's a surprise. Suddenly the bus came there. Here comes my dad. It can be in different form also. Doesn't he look great? Negative sentence. Here also it can be used. As the third situation, students, let us move to the fourth situation. When you express historic or eventful past, historical information about the past, or eventful past, express historic or eventful past. How that happens? Babur now leads his men through the Khyber Pass and enters the plains of India. You're talking about the past, but you're explaining it in a you're talking about some eventful thing, but you're expressing it in such a way that the people who are listening to you, they will feel that it's happening before them. So in that way, you can mention Harry Potter is the boy wizard in J.K. Rowling's fantasy series about historical or eventful past. Historic or eventful past. You may be surprised to know, students, present indefinite can also be used to express future. Condition is that it should be a planned future. It should be a part of a plan or arrangement. For example, that event that is to take place in the future should be planned already. For example, your half-yearly exam starts from, that has not started, but suppose if it is already discussed, that can be said using the present indefinite tense. They do not return so soon. That is already noticed about them. The next usage is when you put a quotation. No, when you introduce quotation. Quotations are words said by some famous people. So John Keats is a famous writer. Suppose he has, in one of his poems he has said, "A thing of beauty is a joy forever." Now you are talking about the line which he has said. You are quoting that line under inverted commas. So that quotations like health is wealth, prevention is better than cure, all these sentences will always be in the present indefinite form. So students, these were the uses of present indefinite forms. Usually we express it by using the be verbs. What are be verbs, students? In the present form, the be verbs are is, am, are, or am, is, are we say. And sometimes you will find that these be verbs act as the main verb also. Ram is a good boy. See, the auxiliary verb acts as the main verb there. Sometimes it may just be a part of, it can be just acting as a helping verb. Are you all right? Isn't he happy? And when it helps the main verb, like that usually happens in the continuous form, like we are singing a song, or isn't he playing outside? So in the continuous, what happens? These be verbs helps the main verb. So that is about the present indefinite tense or the simple present tense and its uses, students. I hope that is clear to you. Next, we will move to the second form of present tense, which is present continuous tense. One thing you can understand by present continuous tense is that the action continues at the time of speaking. Action goes on, it continues at the time of speaking. That is what we understand by present continuous tense. I'll discuss the structure once again, that is subject plus am, is, are plus ing form of the verb plus object. Let us talk about its usage. First usage is to express an action going on at the time of speaking. That's what I've told you at the beginning. When you speak about an action that continues, that goes on at the time of speaking. For example, right now what am I doing? I'm teaching you, I'm explaining. So the action is continuing at the moment. So in such situation I can use present continuous tense. It can be in any form, like interrogative, assertive, negative sentence. Is it raining? The person who is asking that question is talking about that very moment, whether it is raining at the time. The children are going to school on foot. Something happening at the moment. I'm not working at the moment. Okay. Second condition is to express a temporary or routine action which may not be actually happening at the time of speaking. What does that mean? To talk about a temporary, or it can be a routine action, follow that. It may not be exactly happening at the time of speaking. For example, I am learning English these days. It doesn't talk about that very moment, but in general, okay, in the present, that action continues. Are you taking lessons in French? Interrogative sentence. The person who is asking about that present moment. They are not meeting regularly. Okay, negative sentence again. The next condition is to express an action that is planned or arranged, just like there was a condition in the present indefinite. Here also, if that action is planned or arranged, which is bound to take place in the future, we can use the present continuous tense to talk about that. She is going to sing a song now. Not yet started. She'll do that. To express habitual or frequently repeated actions, particularly an annoying habit. When you talk of a habitual action which is frequently repeated, and that is mostly an annoying habit which disturbs someone, which makes you annoyed, and in such situations adverbs like always, continuously, constantly are generally used. For example, he is always shouting at his servants. Or sometimes it may happen that there is a boy or girl in your class who always disturbs. So you can say he is always disturbing me, or she is always disturbing me. Before I proceed to the next tense form, I'll tell you one thing, students. Some of the verbs are usually not used in continuous form. I'll talk about that. For example, the verbs like see, hear, very rarely they are used. Smell, feel, taste, appear, look, seem, want, desire, love, hate, are normally not used in the continuous form. Suppose, agree, believe, think, possess, own, contain, consist of. Usually you will find them in the simple present or present indefinite. We'll move to the next one, that is next tense form, that is present perfect tense. Students, listen very carefully. I hope I'm able to make it clear to you. I want you to be very attentive, okay? Present perfect tense. Let me repeat the structure of that. Subject plus has or have plus third form of the verb plus object. That is the structure, students. You have to remember it. And now let us come to the usage of that. Before that, let me tell you one thing. Present perfect tense is used to talk about an action that started in the past and got very recently completed. It got very recently completed. Understood? Let us talk about the conditions. To express an action which has been recently completed. This is what I've told you. The sun has just risen. They haven't won the match yet. Negative sentence. They haven't won the match yet. Someone comes to your house and asks you, where is your dad? And you tell them, he has just gone out. That action happened very recently. To express an action completed in the past but whose time of completion is not definitely stated. You talk about an action that was completed in the past, but exact time of completion of that action, when that action was completed, the exact time is not mentioned clearly. For example, haven't you seen her angry? That means it talks about the past, but exactly when, that is not indicated. I have experienced a low intensity earthquake. That one happened in the past, but when exactly, that is not known. Third condition is to express completed action having some effect, after effect. Action already occurred and it has left some effects. He has cut his finger. The effect is still going on at present. So when you talk about that, that means he has cut his finger, now it's bleeding. The effect is still noticed. So these are the conditions to use the past perfect tense. Now let us move to the fourth form of present tense, that is present perfect continuous tense. I'll begin with the structure. Subject plus has or have plus been plus ing form of the verb plus object. And we also use since or for. Since, when you talk about since talks about like since morning, since evening, since September, since 2010. Okay. So when you talk about a point of time, these are point of time. Okay. Since 9 o'clock, since 4:30 p.m., since 1960. When you talk about a point of time, we use since. And when you talk about a period of time, such as 1 hour, 1 week, a long time, 10 years, 2 days, when you speak about the period of time, then we use for. Now let us talk about what exactly is present perfect continuous tense. Present perfect continuous tense means, it indicates that an action started at a particular time. Okay, it can be a period of time or it can be a point of time in the past, and the action still continues in the present. Maybe the action is half completed and process is going on to complete the rest. To express an action which began at some time in the past and is still continuing. Let us go through some examples. She appears weak because she has not been keeping well for the last 1 week. Last 1 week she was ill, and that effect is continuing like that. She hasn't become all right. He has been sleeping for 4 hours. 4 hours before he slept, and now also he is still sleeping. He didn't wake up. You look ill. Haven't you been eating well? No, that effect is going on now also. It is not. He has not become all right. And that person is asking him, why is it so? Are you not eating well? Sometimes, to express an action which is already over, in such cases, the continuity of the activity is emphasized as an explanation of something. Sometimes we talk about an action that is already over. For example, why are your clothes wet? I have been watering the garden. You're explaining something, giving an answer to something, giving an explanation to something. Someone asked, why, what happened? Why are your clothes wet? And you give a reply, you give an explanation to it. You say that I have been watering the garden and that was the reason my cloth got wet. So these are the usage of the present tense. Students, in the next part of the video, I'll discuss about past tense and then about future tense. But in this video, I'll discuss only about the uses of present tense. I want you to watch the video very carefully, try to understand. If any confusions or any doubt arises in your mind, you can always ask me by sending me comments. Thank you so much for watching this video.